Alright, so I wanted to make this video because when I got dreampod ice baths with the chillers back in December, I didn't really know what the maintenance was going to be like, and the company didn't really give very good guidance on that. So here's what I do, and it's worked for me. So I just turned it off. It's been a week since I changed the water. It hasn't gotten a lot of use this week. But 1 week is usually about how long I take to change the water. So I drop in the submergible pump, and I have to run the hose 100 feet to the men's locker room, where it goes down one of the showers. So like I said, I do this about once a week, and I never have like an issue with the water getting nasty. Now it's also filtered, and we use peroxide as a sanitizer. But more on that when I fill the water back up. So it's going to take a solid 30 minutes for this water to pump out, which it's a little annoying, but that's just what it is. I'm back in a minute. Okay, so in about half an hour, maybe a little more. In the bucket. Okay, and then I like to get the remaining water with a shop vac, and also I will shop vac this top hole to get some of the water out of the filter area. That way when I take off the filter, it doesn't drip everywhere. That's just a little hack. So the filter's there. Helps to use this crank thing that it comes with, and untwist it with that, but I forgot to record that. But you can see, like, I just sucked out just enough of the water so it doesn't like overflow when I pull it out. That's the filter. It's actually not too bad. It probably could go a little bit longer. Like I said, it didn't get a lot of use this week, but I'll change it anyway. Alright, so next there's a trap under here in the inlet that flows in from the bottom of the ice bath, and there's a screen in here, and that will catch lint, so that kind of keeps that out of the water flow. Really not too bad for a week. Okay, at some point I'll take a wet or a damp microfiber and just clean around the water line to make sure there's no scuzz. I don't use any chemicals for this part. So the filters are just like an inline water filter. You can get them on Amazon, and I got 5 microns, which the smaller the micron, the more particulates it filters. I don't remember the size, but there's only like a couple different sizes. Just measure it and it'll fit back in the filter housing. You always want to make sure that the filter is sitting pretty much right there. Like, it doesn't sit perfectly, but if it's like off and you screw it in, you might not get a firm screw in, and then when you go to start it, there'll be like really bad water flow because there'll be air. So you just have to try to line everything up really good, even though you're probably going to be in a precarious position like I am. But get it hand tight, and then you're going to grab that tool they give you and just get it something tight like that. Don't want to go too hard. It is all plastic. Now when you put this back on, you want to make sure that your gasket's there. Because once again, you want. Sorry, my phone fell. Anyway, so you get that tight, you get this one tight, and then there's one more gasket to pay attention to. In here. So make sure that's in there and it looks good. Because once again, that'll screw up the flow. That's not good. Pause this. Let me tell you another thing I learned about this barrel, DreamPod. This was stupid. There is a foot plug down there at the bottom, like just a plug that you can step on with your foot if you want to drain the water. Just think about that. Like, think how smart that is. And they give you this drain hose, right? So I had to buy this plug to put on the end of it because I had somebody step on that and discharge the contents of the tub into the room, which is really unpleasant. That's a lot of water in a really little space. Like, I don't know what engineer thought that was a great idea, because if you look in their other tubs, there's no drain, because they must have realized it was stupid. So all there is the water excreting and the water getting sucked out of the bottom. This is one of the other ones. This is the bath style. Much more intelligent. Here's a divergent pro tip. I bought this aquarium cleaning kit on Amazon for like 20 bucks. It's got all these different attachments. And it comes in handy. Like, you can see there's like some debris on the bottom here. And you can't like stick your hand in there and get it. It won't work. So you do that. I usually have a towel with me to wipe it on. But that works better than trying to stick your hand in or using, like, you can't do it with a net. There's that debris right there. Anyway, get something like that, because people have dirty little feet, or it's probably actually a lint from a bathing suit. Okay, so we're back on track. We've got hoses hooked back up, filter back in, gaskets tight, drain hose plugged, everything clean. The next step is to fill it. So I bought this really awesome, really lightweight hose because my spigot is 100 feet away, just like the drain, 100 feet in the other direction. And I learned that when you put a really lightweight hose somewhere and then turn it on, it goes everywhere like a aggressive snake. So I bought a kayak anchor and this orange twisty thing. I tried a carabiner, I tried different attachments. This might not be the final form, but some kind of anchor is a good idea. Prevents you a lot of drama. So as you can see, my hose is coming from upstairs and all the way to the ice bath, which is not ideal, but it's how it works around here. You can see how it wants to go crazy. Like, it can be problematic. So get yourself something heavy to hold it down. Otherwise you have to stand here for half an hour and hold the hose in place, which is not really fun. Here's another thing they don't talk about is how much to fill it. We go 1 to 2 inches above the square hole there. About 2 inches. Any more than that, and it'll overflow when a big dude gets in. Like, it looks kind of empty, but it is what it is. You can't really, one problem with this is you can't really fill it to the point where it works for a 120-pound girl and a 320-pound guy. When I have big dudes, I always put them in the bath if possible. The barrel's just not a good choice. Anyway, now that once the water is over the blowhole, you can turn this thing back on. One fun thing this one does is whenever it's off, it leaks a little. The other two don't do that, and it stops when you turn it back on. I can't figure it out. Unfortunately, it's summer, so the tap water is coming out at 72.5 degrees, and that's going to take a few hours to get down to 49. Like, I'd say a solid 3-4 hours, so plan accordingly. It's not ideal during business hours. Yeah, so we're gonna pull the hose out. Okay, I think this is the last thing. Sanitation peroxide, 35% food grade peroxide, and 3 ounces of it. If you get it on your skin, it does that, like turns it white and makes it feel bad. So my finger will feel bad for a little while. You can't wash it off. It'll just go away eventually. I think it's fine. So basically, through Googling and guesswork and trial and error, I determined that these things have about 100 gallons of water in them, and in order to get the proper amount of in there, it takes about 3 ounces. I want to say the proper amount I was told was like 100 parts per million. So when you buy the peroxide, I'll try to put that in the description or in the video comment or whatever. They'll send you these strips. Oh, it goes up. They go up to 90. So somewhere around like 90 parts per million. I don't usually end up using these because usually the filter starts getting bad or the water starts getting cloudy after a week when I want to change it anyway. So I don't know, maybe middle of the week, if the water is a little cloudy, I might add a little peroxide, but I don't usually add anything because it seems like the peroxide in the filter lasts about the same amount of time. Yeah, I think that answers a lot of the questions I would have had in December when I got these things with almost no help whatsoever. Yeah, so about how the ice baths work, any of the particulars. Maybe I'll make a video about the sunlight and saunas too, because I have plenty to talk about those. Oh, yeah, I know I said one last thing, but one last thing. The lids that come with these things don't fit. Like, no matter how hard you try to like put this lip around here, it can't be done. They don't fit. So they just sit on top and are probably wasting heat throughout the night. Okay, yeah, so that's it. Thanks. Oh yeah, one really last thing. The flow rate. See, it says 19.7. That's like basically as good as I've ever seen it. If it gets down in the low 18s or even 17, that's when you know the filter and that screen are probably not in good shape. Yeah, so that's a big indicator of the health of that stuff. And I have like my staff check that every morning, make sure the temp and the flow rate look good.